Hey everyone! Welcome to Update X24H, your go-to channel for the latest news, hottest dramas, breaking stories, and all the buzz from the world of entertainment. We're here to keep you updated, entertained, and always in the loop. Hit that subscribe button and join our growing family, because here at Update X24H, we bring you the news that matters, the drama you love, and the stories you can't miss. Thanks for being part of our community. Let's stay connected, stay updated, and keep the good vibes rolling. What if the real shock is not just how an actor died, but how millions of ordinary people refused to let his story disappear? 2 months after the passing of Chinese actor Yu Ming Long, the internet should have gone quiet. The headlines should have moved on. New dramas, new scandals, new trends should have taken over the timeline. But they did not. Instead, something rare happened. People from different cities, different countries, and even different generations began to ask the same questions again and again. Is this really all there is to the story? Are we being told everything? And if not, what does that say about the world we are living in? Tonight on Update X24H, we are not here to make accusations or to point fingers. We are here to look at what Yu Ming Long's case has revealed about fear, courage, systems of power, and the quiet strength of people who refuse to be silenced. If you are ready for a story that is not only about one man's tragic end, but also about what his memory has awoken in millions of hearts, stay with me. When news of Yu Ming Long's passing first appeared, many people reacted in the same familiar way. A moment of shock, a few lines of condolence, then the next headline. Yet this time something different happened. Instead of letting the story fade, viewers began to hold on to it. They replayed his scenes, revisited old interviews, and looked again at the timeline, not from a place of hostility, but from a deep sense of unease. It felt as though the official version, however straightforward, did not match the emotional weight of the person they had come to know on screen. What followed was not a riot, but a quiet awakening. Ordinary people, who might once have accepted whatever they were told, started to ask gentle but firm questions. They were not demanding drama. They were asking for dignity, detail, and respect for a human life. You stopped being just a case file and became a mirror, reflecting how much people now value transparency and how uncomfortable they are with quick, simplified conclusions. In that way, the real shift was not only about whether one explanation was accurate. It was about discovering how ready the public is to think critically, to protect those they admire, and to refuse the idea that a person's story can be tidied away in a paragraph. The awakening was not loud, but it was wide, and it is still unfolding. In the middle of all the analysis, numbers, and rumors, something unexpectedly tender appeared. Supporters from outside mainland China began creating symbolic identity cards in Yu's name, adding small details such as the letter P to suggest paradise. A quiet wish that he might now be somewhere peaceful, free from pressure and noise. These actions carry no legal force, yet emotionally they speak volumes. They show how people who never met him still feel compelled to honor his existence, not just his work. These gestures remind us that grief does not always shout. Sometimes it writes a name on a card, lights a candle at home, or keeps a photograph in a private folder. For many, these small acts are a way of saying, "You were real to us. You mattered." In that sense, Yu's story has connected strangers across regions and borders, creating a network of silent solidarity. At the same time, fan art, handwritten letters, translated clips, and carefully preserved screenshots have become a kind of shared archive. It is not official, but it is deeply human. Behind the debates, there is a softer current. People using creativity to cope with loss, to comfort each other, and to resist the idea that he can be reduced to a single tragic headline. These gentle gestures are not about proving anything. They are about protecting a memory. When viewers hear about complex contracts, dissolved studios, or long lists of trademarks under one name, it can sound technical, almost cold. But behind every document, there is a person waking up early, standing under bright lights, memorizing lines, and trying not to disappoint anyone. Yu's situation, as discussed online, has encouraged many people to look past the paperwork and ask a more human question. How does it feel to live inside such a system? For an artist from an ordinary background, large agreements and layered business structures can be both an opportunity and a weight. On one hand, they open doors, On the other, they may limit movement, ownership, and choice. Even without assuming bad intentions, it is easy to see how an individual might feel small within a machine that never seems to sleep. The discovery of numerous trademarks and business links attached to Yu's name has therefore raised not only suspicion, but also sympathy. Rather than rushing to judge, some viewers are choosing to reflect. They are beginning to recognize that fame does not automatically mean freedom, and that success can sit side by side with anxiety. Yu's case has become an entry point for a broader conversation about how the entertainment world operates, how much control artists truly have, and how important it is that any system, however large, still remembers the person at its center. It is a harsh reality, but looking at it softly allows space for understanding, not only anger. Perhaps one of the most inspiring developments after Yu's passing is not what authorities or companies have done, but what ordinary viewers have quietly chosen to do. Instead of limiting their role to watching and reacting, many have stepped into a more active, thoughtful position. They read public records, learn basic media literacy, compare sources, and share careful explanations rather than only emotional outbursts. Some have used Yu's story as a starting point to talk about mental health, overwork, and the emotional cost of constant exposure. They create safe online spaces where people can admit that they are tired, frightened, or confused without being mocked. Others write essays, record podcasts, or host live streams that focus not on blaming, but on understanding the pressures within the industry and how audiences might support healthier standards. There are also fans who have quietly adjusted their own behavior. They think twice before spreading unverified rumors. They give artists room to rest. They praise studios and platforms that show responsibility and care. These may seem like small changes, but together they form a new kind of courage. The courage to be compassionate, to be patient, and to see celebrities as fellow human beings rather than characters built solely for consumption. In this sense, Yu's legacy is not only emotional, it is practical. It is teaching people how to care more wisely. When headlines speak of a new truth about Yu Ming Long's death, many imagine a single document, a hidden recording, or a dramatic revelation that answers every question. But the reality unfolding in front of us is more subtle and, in some ways, more profound. The new truth may not be a single fact. It may be the way people have changed while searching for it. We may never know every detail of what happened in his final hours, and responsible voices remind us that many online claims remain unverified or incomplete. Yet, even within this uncertainty, something clear has emerged: a growing refusal to treat any life as a brief, disposable story. Viewers now pay attention longer. They question more respectfully. They hold on to the human element rather than letting it dissolve into gossip. Yu has, unintentionally, become a symbol of this shift. His name appears not only in discussions about entertainment, but also in conversations about justice, openness, and emotional safety in high-pressure environments. The different kind of new truth is this: he has shown how powerful a single story can be when millions decide that it matters. In the end, his voice is no longer limited to the lines he spoke on screen. It echoes in every comment that calls for kindness, every post that urges caution before judging, and every viewer who chooses empathy over indifference. That, too, is a form of truth, one that no report can fully contain, but many hearts can carry.